Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited. Star Wars and Drone Wars, there's a connection. New updates for the EasyVFR app. United Technologies rejects a deal with Honeywell. I'm Brie Cross, it's February 26, 2016, and this is Airborne Unlimited. The filming of the new Star Wars movie is as secret as a military operation, maybe more so, and anyone using a drone to spy on the operation might find themselves in a drone war of their own. Some of the scenes for the movie are being filmed in Croatia, according to the tech site Blastr. They relay a report from the Croatian Star Wars site, MosCroatia, that the sets for Star Wars Episode 8 could be protected by as many as 600 guards, and there may be guard drones as well. The notice of the security measures, translated from Croatian, indicate that there will be, quote, a special team with drones that will remove the uninvited drones so that no recording can be conducted by the public. The company is not specific about how those drones might be removed, but it is unlikely that there will be drones equipped with blasters to knock them down like TIE fighters, but it is Star Wars, so you never know. EasyVFR is a navigation app produced by the PocketFMS, and they have just released EasyVFR 3.9 on all supported platforms. CEO Rob Weijers said, quote, the features we include in our latest update are answers to requests made by our customers during last year. Precipitation radar and a new airspace labeling system are good examples. They have also used Bluetooth technology to stream oral warnings and spoken guidance directly over the headphone of the user. Some of the new features are precipitation radar, including animation for Central Europe, new smart airspace labels that always stay upright regardless of map orientation for quick and easy reading, voice-spoken warnings for airspaces, obstacles, flight plans, and traffic avoidance, and a new overview mode when fully zooming out to get a quick overview of your route and the weather. The update is available from both the Apple App Store and Google Play. After the break, United Technologies said the deal was too complicated.
Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you would like to be a supporter of Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. The United Technologies Corporation has confirmed in a press release that it was previously engaged in preliminary exploratory conversations about a range of potential collaborative options with Honeywell. However, UTC never explored these options further due to significant regulatory obstacles, customer concerns, and valuation issues. Honeywell also acknowledged the discussion in a similar release, but differed with UTC on the potential regulatory and other hurdles. Honeywell said it believes the combined company's financial profile would be stronger than the highest valued peers in the multi-industry group today, creating an opportunity for incremental value for both sets of shareholders over the short and long term. Honeywell added that they would not and will not pursue a transaction that is not in the best interest of their shareholders and consistent with their successful and disciplined capital deployment framework. It's Friday, and that means that it's time for A&N CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. Whether we're talking about model aircraft or full-size airplane flying, the whole thing can be mystifying and even intimidating to those who feel like they're on the outside looking in. In this week's Barnstorming, Jim reminds us not to underestimate the power of being a good neighbor. Here is this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Bree, and hi, folks. It was interesting. Earlier in the month, we carried a story about an Albuquerque model airplane club that got shut down on one complaint. Unbelievable. What was interesting, though, is in some of the newspaper articles, and one particular that described what was going on and the potential for reinstatement of the model airplane club, were all the community comments that mentioned how cool the club was, what a wonderful place it was to bring children and grandchildren to watch the airplanes, how friendly and engaging the model airplane club was, and how pleasant the whole thing had been from a standpoint of the Model Airplane Club as a member of the local community. Now, look, I've been ranting and raving about all the problems that we have and so forth and so on. And let's face it, they're all quite serious, and in many cases far more serious than much of the Aeroverse really comprehends. But never mistake the ability to create phenomenal goodwill and the many ways it may manifest itself in the future simply by being a good neighbor. It ranges from the airports with the little airplane swings and play set so the kids can play. It ranges to airports that have a little area where you can view the airplanes taking off and landing. It's the open houses that airports put on to let the local neighborhood know that, yeah, we're a member of your community and we really want to be a big part of it. There's so many ways that we individually and collectively can be outgoing, and you would be incredibly surprised to note how many ways that comes back upon you. In the case of the Model Airplane Club, I don't know if it's going to be reinstated. I would imagine it will be, because of the fact that they shut it down on one complaint just shows that there are still NIMBY morons everywhere whose happiness is obviously more important than anybody around them, and whose opinion of how the world works can only be manifested in one way. If it's good for me, fine. If it's bad for everybody else, I don't care. So we have to deal with those things, and it just is surprising to me over the many years I've been in this business. The little time, I let a fellow bring his child over to look at my airplane while I was refueling, or came up to the fence, or gave a ride or some such. How many times I was surprised to find that come back in some way. Look, aviation is not an easy business. It's not necessarily an industry that the public embraces right away. There are so many ways we can take a little bit of our time, a little effort, and show the world that pilots are cool. Aviation is cool. And wouldn't it be cool if you shared in our world a little bit so that we could share in yours? Albuquerque, great example. I hope it works out for them. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I had a talk with AMA the other day by email, and they say, yeah, this is the kind of stuff we need to hear more of. And in many cases, the model airplane community has been a leader in being a good neighbor. The rest of aviation can learn a lot from this, should learn a lot from this, and we hope it does. Be a good neighbor, folks. It may be a pain in the butt now and then, and you may have to answer a lot of WFO questions. But so help me, you would be surprised at how many ways that comes back and how pleasant the result can be. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell. Still trying to be a good neighbor.
After these messages, HeliTrak Autopilot for Robinson R44 is enhanced.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. HeliTrak is introducing its safety-enhanced HeliTrak Autopilot for the Robinson R44 at the HAI Heli Expo. It's claimed its Level 1 software and tripleplex hardware architecture deliver the highest safety and design assurance levels recognized by the FAA. The Airline Pilots Association supports the recently announced ICAO temporary ban on the shipment of lithium-ion batteries on passenger airliners until adequate safety regulations are in place. Alpha says they also want to see a safety solution for cargo-only airlines. Kansas businessman Merrill Eisenhower Atwater has been selected to be the state's next aviation director. As director, he will work with the FAA and aviation stakeholders of the 138 public use airports across the state. The Stingers of Strike Fighter Squadron VFA 113 conducted the last flight of a Fleet FA-18C Hornet based at Naval Air Station Lemoore on February 17th. After 10 years in the FA-18C, the squadron will begin transitioning to FA-18E Super Hornet. DJI has announced DJI Care, a protection plan that provides customers of their drones with what they say will be an enhanced after-sales experience. DJI drone owners will have the option to purchase either a 6-month or a 1-year DJI Care protection plan. Well, that's a trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. As Civil Air Patrol's Command Council convened in Washington, D.C. this week to brief Congress on the U.S. Force Auxiliary's primary mission, CAP members also launched the organization's 75th anniversary celebration. Civil Air Patrol's Chief Historian, Colonel Frank Blodgett, said the organization's milestone anniversary provides a unique opportunity to elevate public awareness about CAP, its heritage, programs, and future missions. He added, quote, "Notably, we are able to reflect upon the accomplishments of our membership and organization to better position both for the next 75 years. CAP doesn't officially turn 75 until December 1st, 2016, but officials believe the birthday is worthy of a year-long celebration, which began with a reception Thursday evening. The anniversary launch event featured remarks from Captain Jill Paulson, granddaughter of CAP's founder, Gil Rob Wilson. CAP's 75th anniversary theme is Civil Air Patrol, Always Vigilant for America, 1941 to 2016. The CAP was formed just 6 days before the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. This event will be commemorated at EAA AirVenture this year. Well, that's our program for today. Remember to get comprehensive real-time 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. Please join us and a growing roster of over 100 outstanding industry associations and organizations every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news from the staff of the Aero-News Network, the aviation world's most comprehensive news and information resource. Have a great weekend. We will see you Monday.